the most evil, most iconic riffs in all of thrash metal. The intro riff and bridge section to the verse of Hangar 18 by Megadeth. The relentless open chord stabs, the climbing triad inversions that sound like aliens landing, and then the harmonized pulse of two guitars underneath the vocals. One word can describe this:
genius.
Dave Mustaine and Marty Friedman at their most sinister and brilliant. Lock in.
It's time for the invasion.
Man, I remember watching MTV back when they played metal music videos. Headbangers Ball, anybody? Hell yeah. The first time I saw the Hangar 18 video, it felt like someone cracked open my skull and poured in pure paranoia. Area 51? What the hell is that, right? If you haven't seen the video, I highly recommend it. This riff is fast, technical, and dripping with attitude. It's classic Megadeth madness. Seeing them live in concert was just as badass. What's your Hangar 18 moment, though? First time you nailed the climb? Trying to keep up with the tempo? Did Marty stare at you like something's wrong, playing one of the 7 solos? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. Some quick gear love. I'm going to be using my Jackson Custom King V, and I've got a Fishman Modern Fluence humbucker in the bridge position. Isn't this thing sweet? And I'm also going to be running my Boss Multi-Effects pedal, cranked with scooped mids and high gain for that sharp, cutting Megadeth tone. The affiliate links are in the description if you want the same bite. Thanks for keeping the thrash alive by clicking on those links. The tabs are about to be hitting on screen right now. We're going to be in standard tuning, and we're focusing on the intro, bridge, and verse riffs. I'll slow it way down, though, and show you every pick direction and palm mute, and then we'll do play-alongs at 3 different speeds. Half speed, 60%, and nearing full alien invasion at 70%. Get your down-picking arm warmed up. Here we go. Let's start it off with the chords you're going to need in this song. The types of chords being used here are called triads. They're 3-note chords, and he's using inversions on several of these, which means that he flips the notes over themselves even though they're the same letters. So D minor is a good example of this. Let's start it off here. We're going to D minor with A in the bass. So that's an inverted D minor chord, the 2nd fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the B string, and 1st fret of the high E string. That's A, D, F. And I'm just going to use a clean channel for this so you can hear me talking as I go over this. The next chord we're going to need is B flat. I'm just going to rotate a little bit here so I've got 3rd fret, and 1st fret. Then I'm going to move my pinky over to the 4th fret of the G string and the ring finger down to the B string of the 3rd fret. And that's B diminished. And then here comes one of the inversions I just talked about, the D minor chord we already did once, but here's another version of the D minor here. 5th fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B string, and 5th fret on the high E string. That's D minor 7 with no 3rd. And next we're going to jump up to a root position D minor, which I referenced to look like a little staircase because the root note is right here, D, F, and A, 7th fret, 6th fret, and 5th fret. And as we move up one note here as well, we're going to just go to the 6 with both of these here on the index finger. I'm going to bar both of those strings there, and the 7th fret of the G string. That's going to give me the B flat with D in the bass. And as you've seen, we already had a B flat chord. Here's one. Here's the inversion. Alright, next we're going to the B diminished over D. So only one change there, 7th fret, 6th fret. This moved to the 7th fret on the high E string. Next we're going to a C chord, inverted, starting with an E. So we've got the 9th fret, 8th fret, and 8th fret. I'm going to bar that with my index finger. That's C over E. If you need to take a few minutes to get familiar with those chords, pause the video now and take some time because those are going to be the bread and butter of getting through this intro section. We're just going to be using that sequence of chords. And we're going to start it off by strumming them. So I'll start off on the D minor over A here and just doing all downstrokes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then switch to the next chord. So it's 2 measures per chord. B flat now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and switch to B diminished. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D minor 7, no 3rd. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D minor root position. 1 and 2 over D, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and diminished, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and to the C chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's practice these first 16 measures of the intro section now at half speed. Get your guitar ready, let's go. For this next section, we're going to be arpeggiating these chords instead of strumming them. In the case of the D minor over A, what that means is I'm going to pick through the strings, the third string, second string, first string, and back to the third string. That's an arpeggio. So the picking pattern I'm going to do on that is down, down, up, down. I'm going to try to stick to that picking pattern for all of the ascending chords. And as you'll see on the next chord, we're going to descend the D minor in root position, which was this chord shape here. But I'm going to start with the first string, second string, third string, and then open fourth string in this case. Okay, so the picking pattern is going to be up, 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 down. I'm going to try to stick to that picking pattern for most of this. So here's that whole sequence slowly. Notice how I'm walking down on this root note position. I don't have to have all those in place right away as long as I get there before the pick does. We're going to take that same approach on every one of these measures now using the two chord groups. So starting with B flat next here. Notice that went to the inverted B flat there. Going to B diminished next. Next we'll go to the D minor 7 no third to C chord. So that measure is a little different, isn't it? Not both D minors. And that whole sequence repeats again one full time through before we get into the verse riff. Before I take you through a slow play along of this section, there's going to be a walk down scale we're going to do at the end of this sequence. So at the measure 32 here, we're going to be at the 10th fret of the G string to the 9th fret and 7th fret. This is going to be a scale walk down. Then we'll go to the D string and do 10, 8, 7. Then to the A string, 10, 8. That's an F major scale. That'll lead us right into the verse riff. Now let's get some practice in on this section from measure 17 to 32 at half speed. Let's go. let's look at this verse riff. We're going to start it off on the G string, and I just want to show you the melody first. So we're going to be at the 2nd fret of the G string, and I'm going to use my middle finger to slide up to 7. And then I'm going to do the 3rd fret and slide to 7. Then I'm going to do the 4th fret and slide to 7. Then the 5th fret and slide to 7. So that's the melody line. Between each of those patterns, we're going to do a palm muted open D string. So that's called the pedal tone. Watch this. This sounds much cooler with a high gain amp tone. Check this out now. After we do that sequence 5 times, we're going to do the open D palm mute 2 times before we go to the 7th fret and slide down this time to the 2nd fret. Then I'll do that again, but slide to the 3rd fret. Again, slide to the 4th fret this time. Again, slide to the 5th fret this time. I didn't actually slide that time, did I? So we go 7, 5, rest, 5. Now let's get some practice on this verse riff at half speed. Let's go. If this lesson's firing you up, here's how you can keep my channel shredding every week. Hit subscribe and the bell for daily riffs. Join the brand new YouTube membership for early access to new lesson videos, exclusive monthly members only videos, behind the scenes, personalized feedback on short video submissions, priority song requests, 10% off courses and lessons, and more. Click join below. Grab my full guitar courses at kjzmusic.com or on Udemy. You can book private lessons or get gift cards for friends and family, snag some merch, and also super thanks or the affiliate links below are always appreciated. You guys make every riff possible. Thank you. You've learned everything you need to play up to the first guitar solo, so let's take it through from the beginning all the way to that point at half speed, then 60% of the goal tempo, and then 70% of the goal tempo. Let's go. You just locked in one of the most evil riffs ever written. Play this loud enough and the neighbors will start checking their basements for aliens. Quick vote, should we do the harmony lead lines next, a solo section, or another Megadeth classic like Symphony of Destruction? Let me know in the comments. Next week we keep the thrash storm raging. Comment what you want to destroy next. Until then, keep the down picks sharp, keep the tempo locked, and I'll see you in the next one.
Leader, go!